Hey guys, this is going to be a quick video going over how I'm going to be reviewing games on my channel. So basically, to sum up this entire video, if you don't want to watch the entire thing, is that I'm going to be having different categories in my review. And basically, each category is going to get a score out of 10. And then at the end, I'm going to find a weighted average of the score I gave in each category. And that's going to be the final score of that game. And that's how I'm going to be doing my reviews. Also, on top of that, I'm going to be doing something that Doug D. Morale does in his reviews or videos. Basically, like he compares like the car score that he gives to like his past car scores that he give in each category and like, you know, and the overall score as well, I believe so. So I think I'm going to be doing that. I'm not exactly sure, but I might end up doing that as well. Where basically like I'll compare like all the games I've done, and I wouldn't like, you know, talk about this comparison. Basically, I would just show you a Excel sheet which has all of the scores of all the games which I've reviewed in the past. So that's how it's gonna be. Hey, this is Future Falto chiming in for just a quick second. So basically, I forgot to say that I may do the categories in different orders for different games. So I won't have just one order, which I don't think should be a big deal. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that. Now I'm going to go over each category in a little bit more detail, and basically I'm going to also talk about why I gave each category that specific weight in the average. So the first category is going to be the story category, and this is pretty self-explanatory because pretty much I'm going to be reviewing the story, and yeah. Now as for spoilers, that will depend. Basically, if I want to talk about spoilers, then I'll say, hey look, this next part's going to be a spoiler, or I might even say, hey look, this entire review is going to have some spoilers, so you guys are aware of that. However, I may choose to not talk about spoilers, so you know, that's going to depend on the video game itself. Now you might be like, well, what if I'm going to review a game which does not have a story? So how would I do the story category in that game? Well, the answer is that for such games, I will not be using the same scale as I would if a game had a story. So for those games, I'm going to modify the scale a bit. Like I'll still have a score at the end, but it's not going to be this from using the same scale as this video. So let's move on to gameplay. Now again, just like story, I think this is pretty self-explanatory. Basically, I'm going to be reviewing the gameplay, you know, whatever mechanic, you know, if that might be, whether it's platform, driving, or running, or sports, I don't know, you know, it depends on the type of game it is. Now, let's move on to the art style / visuals category. Now, you might think, oh, this is going to be where I talk about graphics, right? Well, not exactly. You know, I might mention graphics here or there in this category, but I'm going to really grade graphics in the polish category, not in this one. This is basically how does the game look from an artistic perspective and not a graphical perspective. So let's move on to the music category. And this is also pretty self-explanatory, as basically I'm going to talk about the soundtrack of the game and whether or not it's good or bad. I may even, you know, show you some of my favorite songs from that game, you know, though that may not happen all the time, but that may happen for some of the games. But I must confess something, this category might be a little more opinionated than the other ones, mainly because I may like a soundtrack while you may not like a soundtrack, so we have that going. But you chose to watch a review from me, so you know, it is expected that the review might be a little biased, because to be honest, all reviews are biased, and like non-biased reviews are pretty boring to watch. Now we are finally on the polish category. Basically what this category is going to be where I talk about the graphics, the frame rate, the acting, the voice acting, or even the animations if they choose to do like motion capture animations or something like that. Now I'm going to explain why I chose to weight each category the way that it is. So first up is gameplay, and gameplay that's weighted the most because I mean, gameplay is the most important thing of a game because you are playing a game, you're not watching a movie, so yeah, which is why gameplay is 3x. Next up is story, and story I weighted it 1.5 because to me, story is pretty important to a good game, but it's not as important as gameplay, thus it's half of what gameplay is weighted. Next up, I'm going to talk about visuals and music because they both are weighted at 1x. So basically, some games they chose to emphasize more on the visuals over music, while other games do the opposite thing. So which is why I have them weighted at the exact same, and they're both 1. And they're less than story and gameplay because you can have a good game with a bad like visuals and stuff and bad music, but hey, it's a good game. So yeah. That's why they're weighted less than both gameplay and story. Now let's talk about the last category, which is polish category, and why that is weighted the least amount. Okay, so in my opinion, you can have a great game and even a great gameplay experience if you have like a game which has like pretty bad graphics and frame rate. They tend to dip quite often, and even the voice acting can be bad. But hey, depending on the type of game it is, you can still have fun. I mean, it's possible. I mean, look at Sonic 06. Well, that game is absolutely heavily bug ridden and the frame rate is awful at many times. I still enjoy that game, and so do many people. I know it's not the majority, but I'm just saying an example, So basically, this category is going to be a quote-unquote nice to haves, which is why I'm going to have the weight be the lowest amount compared to the other categories. So there you had it. That is how I'm going to be doing reviews on my channel. I hope you enjoyed this video, because I'll catch you in the next one.